of you are excited, I am, because this is my first ever XT Summit. As I'm excited, I'm here to get you guys excited for WebXR, or the immersive web, which, according to me, is the next frontier of the web. Where these new immersive experiences are being built even right now, and I'm here to get you started on this journey as well, or more rather like a whirlwind tour, because this is only a 20-minute talk, where I'll help you understand what WebXR is, why do we need it, the WebXR device API, how to get started on this journey, and some tools and resources that'll help you, gain some momentum on this journey of yours. But before we start, let's have a quick sneak peek at what is actually possible with WebXR today in your browsers. So this is a great example that I'm showing you, which is for the Jumanji movie experience, the cinematic universe. And you can see that this whole cinematic universe, this whole new world of Jumanji, is actually inside the browser of your phone. No app to download, nothing to install. You just click a link, it's easily shareable, and you start peering down into the world of Jumanji. And if you haven't already seen it, it's a great movie, and you can see how using voice commands and using cloud technology from Amazon Sumerian as well, you can build these great experiences right now, if you have the idea, you can do it. You have other examples as well, like we already are very familiar with, on the native side, how we have great AR and VR experiences like the Nike Kicks app, or the IKEA Place app, or the Pokemon Go app. And you can see here how Lego and Adidas and Toyota have actually built great experiences inside the web, and they're very performant, and basically, are a drop-in replacement for anything native, and you don't even have the additional cumbersome install to go with it for these, great, interesting experiences which are very immersive. So I hope I got you hooked there. So let's get started with the first thing. So what is WebXR? Before that, let's talk about this reality spectrum that we have. So we see how reality these days is the boring reality, the mundane reality that we see every day. And then once you start putting digital content into your real world, you can see how you can put some digital content on top of your world, like the great Google Animals example. That is augmented reality. You have mixed reality, where you can start interacting with it, and you can completely shut off the world as well and create a whole virtual experience, which is called virtual reality. And this whole spectrum, this whole digital reality spectrum, is now called XR. And a lot of people call it extended reality or cross reality, but X is just like a placeholder where it's any reality that you would want to build, and you can move up the scale or down, and you can create your own example of your own digital reality. And for reality, shout out to Bhumika, my colleague, who will be giving a great talk on what how change your whole idea about what is real and what is not. So stay tuned for that talk as well. So that got you interested in XR. So what is WebXR? Basically, just a mix of two words, where web basically means that it runs in the browser, and XR represents the whole spectrum of digital realities like VR, AR, and MR, and also all the major browsers supporting this great technology. So just having a quick look at the timeline. So in 2014, the VR team at Mozilla basically decided to build VR experiences inside the web, and it started launching with Firefox Nightly. They built a great framework called A-Frame, which we'll be looking at very soon. Soon got support from Chrome, Canary, and other versions as well. And Google and Mozilla came out with the WebVR API spec in 2016, and very soon they realized, with the launch of ARKit on the Apple platform, as well as ARCore on the Google platform, that it's not just virtual reality, but it's a whole spectrum. And for that reason, they built now the new spec, which is called the WebXR, which we'll be looking at, which is what all the major browsers are now moving towards. But why WebXR? You already have the XR spectrum on the native side, so WebXR. So this is a great slide that shows the numbers. So if you see the reach of the web, there are around 3 billion devices that are supporting WebXR right now. And if you look at the ARKit and ARCore libraries on the native side, even adding them both doesn't reach the magnitude or scale of the web. And it's common knowledge now that lot of people don't really like installing new apps on their phone every time, and especially with AR and VR, which are ephemeral experiences. You don't want to install an app and just get rid of it, very soon, just after, you. So web is a great platform for this, and you can see how, a lot of people have a lot of engagement over these AR apps. 80% of users spend, and 50% spend more than 2 minutes with these apps on their phones. No installation, no storage, just use and forget. You don't have to worry about the App Store or the Google Play. You don't worry about their guidelines, and you have instant deployment. You have a problem with your app, you can instantly deploy, and it updates for all those users. So all the great possibilities that the web provides, they are also provided for your immersive experiences as well, and a great dev community on the web, which we all love. And also it's a great equalizer, like web is. You don't have to have the greatest and the latest headset and the whole rig up or your whole room for VR. You can actually start with your phone, and you can start with these great experiences and then gradually move towards, and WebXR still supports those experiences as well. And being web, it also supports progressive enhancement. So if your laptop or desktop does not support XR, you will see a normal website. But if it does, you will see it in AR on your phone, or if you have a great Oculus Rift headset, you will see it in complete VR, the whole complete glorious VR. So if it's all good, we can start looking at the WebXR device API. So these great companies like Google, Microsoft, all of these people have come together and started to work towards this standard, which will define how immersive experiences are built on the web. And this is a great resource for people to actually have a look. So they have come up with something called the WebXR device API, and this is a great slide to explain that. So you now have the ability to code up the complete immersive experiences for, say, the Microsoft HoloLens, or the Magic Leap, or your phone, or your simple laptop, with support for all the VR controllers, and across the digital spectrum for 6 degrees of freedom, or 3 degrees of freedom, or simply handheld AR. Completely in the language that we love most, all the XTNs would agree, JavaScript. And this is still in beta, but a lot of it is already being defined, and there are certain sections which are still being built and are subject to change. But WebXR, even though it's new, it has a whole legacy and pedigree behind it of WebVR API as well. So let's get started. So some of the great frameworks is, one of the best ones that, I feel is Model Viewer. This is built by the guys at Google. Their idea is that this will be a drop-in replacement, like the image tag is for images. The Model Viewer tag will be for 3D and interactive models. So we know that GLL, GLB, and GLTF, 3D models are basically, the JPEG of 3D world. You just drop in this one tag, and you can have a completely responsive, completely configurable animated model inside your browser in no seconds, right? Just add a script and a tag, and you're good to go. Completely decorative, no JavaScript to write. Similarly, there are other two great frameworks. One is A-Frame, which we talked about, and which we'll be seeing soon in the demo as well. Great framework, completely decorative as well, has a great community behind it. Three.js is a great platform as well, which gives you more control. And there are completely cinematic experiences being built right now. You go to the website, there's a complete great showcase library that they have, 1,000 lines of codes, project, and they've built complete cinematic experience right in the browser, completely interactive. So some resources, now that we know the frameworks that we'll be working with, some great resources that I would like to point to. 3D models, obvious. You can build your own, but you also have these great resources like Poly and Sketchfab. A lot of great designers and creators out there are building these great 3D models under Creative Commons licenses. So feel free to use them and drop down into your immersive experiences and build the next great immersive web app. Another great one is the WebXR API emulator. So the WebXR API also comes with its WebXR polyfill, and this guy really helps you. Even if you don't have the latest headset, if you don't have an Oculus Rift, you can just install this like any other extension, and you can basically emulate Oculus Rift or an Oculus Quest. I'm emulating an Oculus Quest here, and you can use the handset, in the way you would a real headset. A real headset is great, but if you don't, you still have this to help you build the next great immersive experience. So I know too much talking, so I'll just quickly drop down to a demo to see how easy it is to build an immersive experience. So the first one, Hello XD Summit. So this is our immersive web polygon, that we all love, and this is here in complete glorious, reality immersive experience. It's completely responsive, and it also, is auto rotating. Simply, if you look at the code, it just one line of the model viewer tag, and you can see how it's completely decorative, and you just specify. So I have specified AR here, so if it was an AR head device, it would actually, you could also see it in your you could place it in the real world and play around with it as well. And no lines of JavaScript or nothing really super important. This iOS source has been added so that it also supports iOS devices. So this is another great example, the Hello Robot, a nice little cute robot running around. If I refresh it, you will see how it's a very simple model, quite sad looking right there. And the code for it is again a very simple model viewer tag. But if I just add the attribute autoplay, you will see it doing its animated magic, which is already encoded in the the model file that I included, and you can specify other things like there is so I've already copied this and I can show you so how you can actually specify specific animations to be run as well, and skybox images. So if I just save that and I refresh, nothing too complex. I'm running it off a web server locally, and you can see how the model file included a running animation is doing that. Super simple. Another great example. So now, because model viewer and all this is the web, you can write simple JavaScript to actually toggle between models. Again, very simple, nothing too complex, just a set interval toggling between two models. Super simple. So this is meant to show you how you can actually use web technologies to actually enhance this immersive experience, and using the generic web stack. So this is a web A-frame framework example. You can see that there's a scene here where we have added a few assets. Again, A-frame is a declarative framework for doing these 3D scenes. You have a skybox, a model that I've included, a few lights, and we are able to see this, how it has a cursor in there, and you can move around and look around and pan around. If this was a VR headset, you would be completely immersed into it. And the great feature of A-frame is you just press Control Option I, and it loads an inspector for you. So you don't have to constantly switch back and forth. If you're a designer or creative, you can actually go ahead and look at this light and see, oh, okay, I think this needs to change. Maybe I'll make it more white. And you can see how this thing actually is working on the fly. And I'm increasing intensity. I want the model to be a bit further down near the ground. And I made a few changes. It looks nice, and that's it. It's gone. I didn't even have to write code for it, and I can save the GLTF model or this whole A-frame markup, and I could save it, and it would be running. Another great thing, A-frame also provides this cursor and gaze dimension of human-computer interaction. So you see how in a VR headset you would usually be gazing around and looking at these models, and once you gaze around and your cursor drops onto it, you can click with your headset or handset, and this is a 360-degree image gallery that you have completely built in the browser using A-frame, right? So this is like super simple. You see how easy it is to get started. I didn't have to write too much code, and it's just amazing how immersive experiences are being built in the web right now with little to no effort. So according to me, this is a great image and slide where we see how we have come so far from punch slides to to GUIs and now clicks and scrolls, and now you have this great new paradigm of gazing and looking at an object and interacting with it in complete AR experience. And And the future of the web, according to me, is WebXR and of a more immersive and engaging web. And we as web devs should basically start looking at it and build great new experiences for the people who use them. So this is a great example of what I feel is the future. I'm using TensorFlow.js, and it's looking at the camera right now and trying to detect my hand and being actually shown in a completely immersive AR experience. If this was a VR headset, I could jump into that and this would be completely immersive. And using AI and AR, the power of AI and computer vision, and WebXR device API also has sections which actually talk about computer vision and hand inputs. And I think this is the next way how we'll be interacting with our applications and the web. So this is a great glimpse into that, and super easy to build as well using TensorFlow.js. So I think I would like to stop my talk here. Thank you guys for listening to me and providing me your time.